450 milliamp battery. Just plug it in, stick it in the hole. Yeah,
I see what's happening.
Ready?
Yeah.
So right now the airplane is set up like a normal 3D plane. You got full aileron throw, full up elevator throw, full rudder throw, no mixing, no flaps, nothing of any kind. So just to show it flies like a normal plane. You can fly it like a trainer, real slow all day long if you want. Or you can do rollers with it like a 3D plane. It'll harry your right side up. It'll harry your upside down. It's got good wheels, you can cruise around on the ground. Do snakes with it. It's got no coupling, it's a hands-off knife edge. Hands-off knife edge downwind. You can do a knife edge loop. Without any flaps. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is flaps down. So flaps down, it flies like a normal airplane, except it's going to take off in a short amount of distance. You'll have a lot more drag, and because you're using 75% of the aileron throw, you're going to have to work harder on the ailerons to keep the wings level. So it's going to feel like you're moving the stick a lot more than normal because you're using all the ailerons for flaps. So some of the cool things about flaps is you can fly really slow into the wind without stalling the wing and do slow landings. You can do short takeoffs and landings where you get the tail up off the ground and then goose it and climb away. And that was a low power short field takeoff. We'll come back and do another one. Alright, so if you really want to get off the ground short, you get the tail up and then goose it off the ground with the power. So some of the fun things you can do, the takeoffs, is see how many short field takeoffs you can do in a certain span. So. Another thing that's fun to do with the flaps is just using the air brakes. So if you get up vertical and you do like a hammerhead or something, put the flaps down, keep it in the vertical, it'll slow down, and then when you round out, it'll bleed off all the airspeed. So you can be coming in fast and hot, hit the flaps, and it'll stop. And I'll show it to you again. Another thing that's fun to do with this airplane is slips. Alright, so slips. Flaps down, drop a wing 45 degrees, peg the rudder, fall straight down. Alright, so take off, come back around 45 degrees. Hey, that was a good one.
Sell it as a 3D trainer.
Hovering with the flaps in the down position is pretty easy. Once you get it balanced on the prop, it's pretty much hands off. Alright, so now I'm going to show you inverted flaps or spoiler-ons. So basically, the only time you'd use them upright would be if you want to keep the airplane on the ground for some reason, because it just sticks it to the ground like Velcro. And you can drive around like a car. And once you get off the ground, the inverted flaps, you can use them like inverted flaps. So everything I just showed you about upright flaps, you can use inverted. Basically slows it down nice inverted. Remember, you got to work the ailerons more because you're using a lot of your aileron throw. And then another thing you can do with these is fly upright, and it'll give you kind of an artificial nose high almost like a Harrier. And the one thing you want to use this for is for really flat high-speed turns, because you can just jam in the rudder and it'll turn. Alright, so next thing we're going to talk about the mixes. So the first mix is the flap rod mix, where you've got opposite elevator type flap rods. This is really good for high-speed precision flying because it gives you a really sharp turn. Gives you real crisp control. It'll actually make your loops really tight. So one thing that's fun to do with this is you bring it in slow and you loop it to a landing. So that's flapper on. Next thing I'm going to show you is spoiler on. So spoiler on is same direction, elevator, flaps. The main thing that you can do with this is spins. So if I go to spoiler on and do a knife edge spin, the spoiler ons will actually help with the knife edge spin. And you get really good spins out of it. Do a positive knife edge spin. Here. Alright, here we go. Sure this will get happy at connection fit.